Breath of the Wild was a huge departure for the Legend of Zelda series, introducing an open-world Hyrule, breakable weapons, and interacting with the story in any order. Well, Tears of the Kingdom once again shook up the franchise by introducing many new features and breaking the Legend of Zelda mould. Well, today I want to have a look at 10 ways that Tears of the Kingdom has changed the Zelda series. Well, before we get stuck into things, do be aware of spoilers for Tears of the Kingdom in this video, so if you haven't played through the game and experienced the story firsthand, I would recommend bookmarking this video and coming back to it later. But for those who don't mind being spoiled, or those who know the details of the story, let's continue. Well, first of all, Zelda's active role. So in previous Zelda games, Princess Zelda has just been someone to save. In Tears of the Kingdom, she takes a much more active role in the story, taking the fight to Ganondorf in the past, even taking part in the imprisoning war. Now, Princess Zelda is transported back to the ancient past by the power of her secret stone. She meets Rauru and Sonia and battles against the Demon King himself, before eating a secret stone, transforming into a dragon, and then Zelda patiently waits for hundreds of years before teaming up with Link once again to take down Ganondorf in an epic finale. But as much as I enjoyed the adventures in the past and saving Princess Zelda, I reckon it's much better for Zelda to take an active role. We didn't quite get a playable Zelda in Tears of the Kingdom, hopefully that will come later on, but it's really good to see Zelda's more active role in the game, and I definitely think that changed the Zelda franchise for the good. Well, next up we've got a reused Hyrule Map. So this game originally started as DLC for Breath of the Wild, and Tears of the Kingdom reused the entire Hyrule Map, albeit with some quite significant changes. You know, it is rare, but reusing certain parts of games has been done before in the Zelda series. The Majora's Mask, of course, used a lot of Ocarina of Time. There's A Link Between Worlds reused the map from A Link to the Past. Not quite 100%, but nearly there. But, you know, much like Tears of the Kingdom, both of these were sequels too. Now, I don't think it's really surprising that Nintendo reused the Hyrule Map, especially when you got the additions of the Sky Islands and also the depths as well. Well, that is a great segue into my next point, and that is land, sky, and also underground. Well, Breath of the Wild had us exploring every inch of Hyrule. However, Tears of the Kingdom introduced two new areas to explore, the Sky Islands and also the depths. Much was made of the Sky Islands before Tears of the Kingdom release, and somehow the depths were kept a secret until launch day. Both new areas are very different. The Sky Islands are scarce, hardly filling the sky, offering some great puzzles and battles. The depths, on the other hand, introduced a dark and dangerous new world, the same size as Hyrule above. So having to light up the depths with the light roots was a very clever way to expose the area, similar to finding towers on the surface. Plus, also, the first time going down into the depths and discovering a whole new area to explore is absolutely unforgettable. Well, next up we've got the introduction of mechs into the Legend of Zelda, and mechs have been introduced in a couple of ways in Tears of the Kingdom. Not only do we build a mech as part of the story, we also battle mechs as well, but we can build our own structures to wage war against Ganondorf's armies of the darkness. Now, building a mech as part of the secret 5th temple in the game is one of Tears of the Kingdom's highlights, albeit it is quite a small mech. However, if you want to build something a little bit bigger, then you can put together larger vehicles yourself with Ultra Hand. So the addition of mechs and building vehicles in general was an absolute masterstroke by Nintendo, and I reckon this changed the Legend of Zelda series for good, because building is one of the most unique selling points of Tears of the Kingdom. Well, talking about building, next up we've got Ultra Hand. So that was introduced in Tears of the Kingdom. It gave Link the ability to piece together wheels, wood, lasers, rocket. This is by far the biggest game-changing ability added to a Legend of Zelda adventure in years, allowing Link to build vehicles and weapons. Traversing across Hyrule became more than riding a horse. Now Link could piece together boats, cars and flying vehicles, vastly improving getting from A to B. Now it's really going to be difficult to go back to what it was before Ultra Hand if we ever have to, and this ability to build almost anything dramatically improved Link's adventure. Well, next up we have companions in battle. So for a short time in Tears of the Kingdom, we get to fight alongside companions as we attempt to complete temples spread all around Hyrule. Whereas Breath of the Wild was a lonely game with Link battling on his own for much of his adventure, fighting alongside the new sages in Tears of the Kingdom was a very welcome feature. After we complete the temples, we can then summon the shadows of these sages, be able to use their abilities to help us on our own personal adventure throughout Hyrule. Personally, I would love to fight side by side with Zelda, however, that wasn't to be in this game, but fighting alongside our sage companions did change Tears of the Kingdom for the better. Well, next up we've got magical powers, so we're used to magic being used in Zelda games, with Link using various wands and magical powders in previous titles like A Link to the Past. But here, in Tears of the Kingdom, we get to use very strong abilities, almost akin to magic itself, in Recall and Ascend. Recall is the ability to turn an object back through time, a power given to us via Princess Zelda through her secret stone, and Ascend is the ability to traverse through solid matter, allowing us to get out of caves very, very quickly. Combining these powers in Link's whole repertoire of abilities made Link super powerful, but also made our adventures around Hyrule much easier and also unforgettable. Well, next up we've got the HUD. So the HUD was dramatically improved for Tears of the Kingdom, including many new features that help Link on his adventure. The minimap displays latitude and longitude, alongside with altitude, which is really useful given the amount of time that Link spends in the sky. Up on the D-pad is now for easy access to materials, which comes in handy when you're fusing items to arrows. We've got icons for caves, together with check marks when the cave's completed. That was another great addition. Finally, we've got the radial menu for Link's abilities. That allowed for quick and easy access, and it was a vast improvement over Breath of the Wild's UI. Well, next up we've got fusing weapons. So weapon durability was a feature added in Breath of the Wild, and it meant weapons could break after using them for a short period of time. This was a dramatic departure from previous Zelda games, which had Link using one or two swords throughout his adventures in Hyrule. Well, now Link could pick up any weapon he found or took from enemies and use it to his advantage. To alleviate the weapon durability problem, Nintendo introduced Fuse in Tears of the Kingdom, and that's an ability to allow Link to fuse weapons together, plus also items together as well. 2 swords could be fused, 2 shields, even items added to arrows. Fused weapons not only had more durability, meaning they could be used for longer, but also increased their damage output, making Link even more dangerous than before. Well, finally, we've got my number one game-changing feature in Tears of the Kingdom, which is going to change the Legend of Zelda series forever, and that is skydiving. Skydiving is one of the most satisfying elements of Tears of the Kingdom, and changed the way Link travels around Hyrule. We've got the Sky Islands, and then combine them with the towers that shoot Link up into the air. Link can then either land on a Sky Island to explore, or skydive all the way down to the ground, or even below the ground, into the depths if the player chooses. If Breath of the Wild was all about climbing any surface to help exploration, then Tears of the Kingdom is all about taking to the skies. The addition of the wingsuit makes this even better, given through upgrades you can completely negate fall damage, and perhaps more was made of the sky in the marketing materials prior to the game's release, but it's still breathtaking jumping off the Great Sky Island and gliding or diving down to the ground, opening up your paraglider at the last second to gently land on the floor. Well, let me know in the comments what you think about the ways Tears of the Kingdom changed the Zelda series. And that is it for this video today. As always, thank you so much for watching or for listening. Well, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you real soon.